Begging the question is a logical fallacy that occurs when an argument is built upon an assumption that is not proven or justified within the argument itself. Essentially, the conclusion of the argument is already assumed to be true in one of the premises, which leads to circular reasoning. Instead of providing evidence or reasons to support the conclusion, the argument simply restates the conclusion in different words. Circular reasoning. The hallmark of begging. The question is circular reasoning, where the conclusion is implicitly or explicitly assumed in one of the premises. The argument essentially goes in a circle, with the conclusion being used to support itself. Implicit assumption. In some cases, the assumption that begs the question may not be explicitly stated, but is implied by the structure or wording of the argument. This makes it more subtle and harder to detect. Failure to prove. Begging the question fails to provide independent evidence or reasons to support the conclusion. Instead, it relies on assuming the truth of the conclusion from the outset. Example. Scenarios. Begging the question can take many forms and occur in various contexts. For example, consider the following argument. Paranormal phenomena must be real because so many people have reported experiencing them. This argument begs the question by assuming the truth of paranormal phenomena without providing evidence to support it. Another example could be, the Bible is the Word of God because it says so in the Bible. This argument is circular because it uses the conclusion, the Bible is the Word of God, to support itself. Consequences. Begging the question can be persuasive to those who already accept the assumption being made, but it is not convincing to skeptics or those who do not share the same belief. It can lead to a lack of critical thinking and reasoned debate, as arguments fail to provide valid evidence or reasoning to support their conclusions. Counteracting the fallacy. To avoid begging the question, arguments should be based on independent evidence, reasoning, or premises that are not already assumed to be true. Claims should be supported by objective evidence and logical reasoning, rather than relying on circular logic. Overall, recognizing and avoiding the fallacy of begging the question is essential for constructing sound arguments and engaging in rational discourse. It requires careful scrutiny of the premises and reasoning used to support conclusions to ensure they are based on valid evidence and logic, rather than assumptions or circular reasoning.